Oldschool Runescape has thousands of items. Here are 10 of them that are way too good for their price point. Okay, this is 5 items to be fair, but I'm really only going to be focusing on the top and the legs, with extra focus on just the legs. For a lot of people, they see mage progression as Mystic, into Arems, into Virtus, into Ancestral. I would like to make the argument that Arems shouldn't exist in that progression lineup and should instead be substituted with Bloodbark. First, let's look at the cost. Bloodbark bottoms cost 163k and the top costs 168k. It's also arguably easier for irons to get compared to Arems. Arems cost 3.5 million for the top and 2.7 million for the bottoms. So we can see Bloodbark is a lot cheaper, but is that enough to let it replace Arems in the progression meta? Well, let's pull up their stats. We can see their defense stats are very similar, but Arems has slightly higher magic attack, so it must just be flat out better, right? Well, let's take a look at a typical cock setup for fighting the mage hand. Because neither set gives magic damage percent, the max hit is the same, and Arems is about 1.5% more accurate. If we look at the average time to kill, you don't even save 2 seconds. This 1.8 second speed increase comes at the cost of Arems sometimes breaking mid-raid if you didn't pay attention. It costs about 6 million more for the top and bottom, and most importantly, and why the Bloodbark legs are so good, is the Arems curt weighs 7 kilos more than the bottoms, which results in you using more energy and therefore more stamina potions than Arems. On my iron, after getting the Ancestral top and the hat, it was an easy choice to switch the Arem bottoms out for Bloodbark. This isn't even mentioning Bloodbark's special effect of healing you more with blood spells, which can allow you to do things like AFK Arsho. The Helm of Neitiznot is a staple for many accounts. It gives decent defense, respectable strength, and prayer, and it has no negatives whatsoever. This helm actually doesn't make sense for how good it is. Its predecessor, the Berserker Helm, has worse stats, but it costs more. Iron accounts and main accounts can buy as many Neitiznot helms as they want for 50k each from Monis Brorgar in Relica for 50,000 each. While I'm in the wilderness, I see a lot of people bringing Dwarven helms or the Berserker helm. I think there's a logical fallacy where worse equals cheaper, but in this case, better equals cheaper. This is the go-to helm for mid-level accounts and accounts that want to do wilderness activities. The Dragonbone necklace costs 50k. It has the highest prayer bonus of any necklace. The accuracy stats are the same as a Glory and a Fury, but it has a plus 12 prayer bonus. Taking this necklace somewhere like the Fight Caves instead of a Glory or a Fury is 100% worth it. Or any skilling activity where you sit with Preserve on to boost your stats. It also has the benefit of restoring prayer from buried bones. Those hardcores dying at Wintertot? Bury their bones and keep your redemption up. They died for you. Once you get to level 67 hit points, a basket of strawberries heals up to 25 HP for 1 inventory slot. And then once you get to level 84, it heals 30 for 1 inventory slot. A single basket only costs 603 GP. Now, there is a big downside in that there is a delay to eating food. But there are a lot of places where this isn't that big of a deal. Something like getting your first fire cape, there are a lot of safe spots in the cave where you can sit and enjoy some berries. The prayer book is a really nice one because it's free-ish. You get the prayer book after the Great Brain Robbery, and if you're wearing a holy symbol, you can cure poison at the cost of a few prayer points. It doesn't give immunity, so you don't want to use it while fighting, but clearing your prayer after a fight can save you a sip of antidote at virtually no cost if you're going to an altar afterwards. Personally, I have a prayer book and a holy symbol slotted into my Hespori loadout, so after I kill Hespori, I can get rid of the poison for free, and the rest of my farm run isn't interrupted by poison damage. It's also useful at places like Sepulchre or even Clue Scrolls to get rid of the Sarah Wizard poison, if you forgot to pray melee. Can't afford a Bandos Godsword or a Dragon Warhammer? Take out a good old 2000 GP and get yourself a Bone Dagger. This weapon has 100% accuracy as long as you aren't the last one to attack it, and it has the same effect as a Bandos Godsword by lowering the defense by the amount that you hit. In some situations, like a 500 TOA with overly draining on, the Bone Dagger's accuracy is actually better than using a Bandos Godsword. So, after all your Cox teammates miss their Dragon Warhammer, flex on them with a Bone Dagger. Look, losing your items sucks, especially untradables like the Inferno Cape that we don't want to earn again because let's face it, we're not that good at the game. It's gonna cost about $1 mil to lock each item, but if you ever get PK'd in the wilderness, you won't be thinking about that mil. Beyond the protection of losing it in the wilderness, there's another nice benefit. If you use a Trouver Parchment on items, it will stay in your inventory upon a PVM death. This is nice for something like dying at Nex because your Trouver Defender can teleport you right back, so you can start getting KC as soon as possible to get back in. Everyone talks about how it's all the rage to turn into a rock at Sarachnis to get out of the webs. Why not just use an Easter ring instead of spending over 3 million GP on a Ring of Stone? These rings function exactly the same as a Ring of Stone, but they are free as long as you've done an Easter event. And hey, if you haven't done any Easter events yet, one is coming up at the end of this month. It's a decent food, right? It heals 18, which is not quite as good as a shark, and you can combo eat it in risky situations. But why are Karambwans on this list? I am of the opinion that when doing casual slayer or any content that you eat hard food at, you should be filling your inventory with Karambwans instead of sharks or manta rays. First of all, looking at the GP per HP ratio, Bwans are much cheaper at 34.28 GP per HP compared to a shark's 49.3 GP per HP. But more importantly is that Karambwans have less of a delay than other foods, so you will attack quicker after eating a Karambwan compared to a shark or some other hard food. Karambwans are my go-to food for content that I don't use brews at, and if I don't need to combo eat. This is another freebie for us cheapos. Prayer potions are so expensive, and if you're in an iron, they are annoying to keep up with. Go to your house between every Slayer task, and you can get a free 30 plus prayer points just by hitting your dummy. If you're extra cheap and have a task in the catacombs, you can teleport to your house, hit the dummy, and run in the catacombs over and over and over till your task is over, though it will slow you down a bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there are any items I missed that you can think of, please let myself and others know in the comments. A like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated if you enjoyed the content. Hope you all have a fantastic day.